Hi, I'm Trish. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make tamales. This is not an authentic Hispanic recipe. I am not Hispanic. So if it looks a little different than your abuelita did it, there's a reason for that. I make these on a weeknight and I make them in a way that's healthy and congruent with what my family needs. As always, you can make the alterations that suit you and work for your family. To start, you're going to need corn husks, and you can order these on Amazon or find them in the grocery store. I put 2 cups of water into this pan and measured out 2 cups of corn flour. I use the masa harina. I've got some pepper jack cheese that I have sliced into strips, and I'm planning to make about 8 tamales. I'm going to need some baking powder. I have powdered vegetable flavoring. That's optional, but I think it's better if you put some kind of a flavor into it. If you're not a vegetarian, you can use chicken broth. I'm also going to use a whole lot of Crisco. They just taste better when they're greasy. And again, if you're not a vegetarian or a vegan, you can use lard. And I think that that is a more traditional way to go. I'm also going to add a little bit of onion powder. And because we like our food to be a little bit spicy, this is cayenne pepper, just a sprinkle of that. I don't have a steamer basket, so I've improvised with things that I have in my kitchen, and I'll show you what I've done there. This is my regular stock pot that I use for soups and canning. And I've taken a colander that I use for straining pasta, put it inside, and I have a lid. So you don't have to go buy fancy equipment, just make do with what you have. We'll start the burner and make the water boil. While we're waiting for our water to heat on the stove, I'm going to soak our corn husks in hot water. I've got 2 cups of water heating on the stove, and I'm going to add about 1 cup of Crisco. And you can use lard if you want this to be a little more authentic. I'm also going to add some powdered vegetable seasoning. You need about a teaspoon. Here's some onion powder. Our family likes to have a little kick to our food, so I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, just a touch. And you don't want to sprinkle this directly over steam because it makes it stick inside the container. So I put it in my hand, and you just eyeball that, cook with your heart. You can see that the grease is starting to melt. I'm going to wait until this is completely dissolved, and then I'm going to add the corn flour. I've added my corn husks to a tall container with a lid, and there is hot water inside. Ideally, these will soak for between 20 and 30 minutes, and that makes them much easier to work with. With the oil melted into the water and all of my seasonings in there, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of baking powder. I do this after the water is done boiling. And I'm going to put in my powdered corn flour here. And you can adjust this recipe to scale as you need. I only make about 8 at a time because there's only 2 of us. I use equal parts corn flour and water. And then the seasonings and the oil you can adjust to your personal preference. It's important to note that this is not on a heated burner. This has been turned off. While our corn husks are soaking, I'm going to cover this and let it sit and rest for about 30 minutes. Our mixture has been sitting for about 30 minutes, and that's the same amount of time that we have let the corn husks soak in some hot water. You don't have to boil it. Hot water out of the tap will work just fine. And you want these to be pliable. So they fold easily and don't feel like they're going to break. That's how you know they're ready. I'm using cheddar jack cheese because that's what we like. If you want to put meat in it, you can use almost any filling that you would put in a taco. So I've used green chilies, diced tomatoes. Um, we use pretend chicken called unmeat, comes in a can. I'm gonna take this, it's really soft, and I'll put a scoop of that in the center of my corn husk. I'm gonna spread it out a little bit, and we'll put some cheese in here and just a little bit more on top to cover it up. Then I'm going to fold it in like this and wrap it up. That's it. I have seen people make a little tie to go around them. I don't do that. I think it just depends on what part of the world you're from and who taught you to make them. You can do it whichever way you prefer. I tried to have the ends angled up a little bit so it doesn't leak out, because I don't close mine at the ends. This is a fun family project that we like to do sometimes at New Year's, but it can also be something that you do on a weeknight. It really doesn't take a whole lot of effort. Kind of tuck that all in nice, fold that up like you're diapering a baby maybe. And if it seems a little loose, you can add a second one. I sometimes do. Or you can just tie it. There we go. Put that in there. This has been steaming for about 40 minutes and I think it's ready. Oh, those look delicious. Let's plate that and give it a try. Here is our finished bowl of tamales. And this recipe, as I showed it to you and was demonstrating it, it made about 10 of them. And if you're unfamiliar with this type of cuisine, you do not leave the husk on when you eat. You need to take that off. So we will carefully unwrap this onto a plate. Here we go. We just popped the tamale out of the wrapper. I served mine on a bed of lettuce with a little bit of cayenne and some green hatch chilies. It's really good with rice or a side of corn. You can put guacamole on this or sour cream. We usually eat them while they are still really steaming hot. I hope you make this and I hope you love it. Bon appetit.